Do that now.
So, you hear all the time about how people are, like, all you see online is people's highlight reels, right? Well, it's about as real as it gets. One, I've applied to over 150 jobs. There's stuff that I have been overly qualified for. There's stuff that I should have been a shoo-in because I knew people. If you want to talk about feeling so defeated, the jobs that I have been able to pick up, I'm really grateful for, and I've met amazing people. So I see God working in that, and they've blessed my life abundantly. I think the hard part is like knowing that I can't pay the bills. It feels like an impossible situation. So, that's my update today. I'm just really trying to figure out what it is that God's trying to show me in this season, because it's really hard on just about every front. So, yeah. All right, enough of me babbling on here.
Yeah, get your financial houses in order. Because listen, I worked in corporate America 41 years. I've been laid off, reassigned, relocated, demoted, reorganized, all that stuff. And there's some things that are pretty common in corporate America, right? So right now you see the big companies like Amazon and UPS announcing layoffs, and Microsoft and a few others. Okay, the next wave is the smaller companies. They're not small like a mom and pop store. They're just smaller than Fortune 10, Fortune 50, like they're Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000. But they employ a lot of people, and layoffs are like dance fads. They just get popular all of a sudden. And companies, these smaller companies will be like, listen, these big companies take the hit in the media, we can start laying off people too. Because what happens is companies can make their books look better by the end of the year if they get rid of salaries and benefits. And then that prepares them for a first quarter. And they think, well, if we could start fast in the first quarter, we can get a lot of things. We can get our money to look good and blah, blah, blah. And then in January, they'll be like, oh, you know what? We didn't get out to the good start that we thought. They start laying off again in February. So if you are in corporate America right now, I am just saying, get your financial house in order, because the big companies are the first wave, the medium companies are the second wave, and smaller companies are the third wave. And we're still in that first wave and it's not finished. And unfortunately, as an employee, you don't have any control over that. You don't. I mean, there's a little bit of things you could do. You could be a good employee and be productive and all this kind of stuff, good reviews. But a lot of times, it won't even matter. They're just cutting numbers, and your name is just one of those numbers. So get your house in order, because as people on these apps are saying right now, Americans are closer to being on Snap than they are to being a billionaire, right? We're closer to being on Snap. Right? It used to be people were 2 or 3 paychecks away, and now it's like 2.5 paychecks or 2 paychecks. So, yeah, maybe there is a storm coming. Wall Street and the White House doesn't matter, because those companies make money regardless, because the institutional investors will see to it, right? Will see to it, but they don't see to the employees. They will cheer. You see Amazon stock and those stocks of those companies, when they announce layoffs, their stock go up, because the investors are happy that they're getting rid of salaries and benefits. So I think we're in for a bumpy ride, and I think this is the first wave. So do what you can to make sure you're prepared for the second and third wave, because that's when it hits most Americans.
I graduated from NYU with a degree in math and computer science, and I cannot find a job. And I just want to come on here and ask for any advice. If you do have a degree in math or computer science or both, like myself, what are you doing now? And how did you get into it? A little bit of background about myself. Both my parents are doctors, so I have no way to rely on my parents to get me a job like most people in this industry. So I don't know, like I've tried networking with people. I've tried networking with my friends. My friends are very snake-like, they don't want to give me a referral. They don't want to help me out in any way, shape, or form. I don't know, that's just what the engineering crew is like. But I feel like it's just so difficult to get a job. I do leak code every single day. I apply to 50 jobs a week. I have a tracker, and I've been trying like my very, very bestest. And like I'm applying to master's school right now, but I just feel like I don't know if a master's is even like worth it. If I'll be honest, I've tried to apply to jobs with like pretending I have a master's, pretending I have all these certifications, and even then I don't get any interviews.
The job market right now is so trash that you might as well just stay at that shitty job that you hate until you get like another job locked in. So up until last week, I was unemployed for about 2 months, and the first month I pretty much just chilled, treated it like a vacation. But by the second month, that's when I started applying to places, and I applied to about 10-15 different places, and out of those 15 places I heard back from maybe only 1 or 2 places. The rest, I didn't get no call, no emails, nothing. And when I had a job, I would see people come on here all the time talking about how the job market's shitty, that it sucks. And I really thought they were just talking. I didn't think it was true until I actually was unemployed and was looking for jobs. That it hit me. It was like, damn, bro, they really ain't lying.
I have 2 bachelor's degrees, but I'm currently unemployed and I'm trying to find a job and I'm not able to find a job. I feel like if you are not currently looking for a job right now in today's
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. Now, something is happening in America. People are complaining about waking up every day morning to go to look for a job and they cannot get a job. So it means that you are living in a society where you are working the work of looking for a job. Looking for a job is now the work that you're doing. And experts are reporting that it takes 12 to 18 months for you to get a job. And so you understand that life has become so difficult to the point where people are saying that if you have a job at this point in the United States, it means that you're amongst the few people that are blessed. So that job crisis that people are talking about, probably, I really don't know, could it be there's so many automations that the companies are using that is making people lose their job? We're just trying to think critically through this crisis that is going on, because experts report that it will take 12 to 18 months for a person to get a job. This only means one thing. For those people that have jobs, it means that they can lose it anytime. For those people that don't have a job, it means that it will take them longer to get a job. So my biggest question, what do you guys really think is happening with the United States, especially the job sector? People are not getting a job. There is no job. And the few jobs that are there, they cannot match the living standards that we are seeing, right? We are seeing a malfunction in the system where when the prices of goods and services keep rising, then the wages that people are being paid remain standard or even gets much lower. Do you think there is so much automation that the companies are using? Or what's really happening? At which point did America reach there's no point of return, where you have to pay for your taxes? You don't have a job to do that. When you get a job, there's so many deductions that you have on that. You are maybe 2 wages away from becoming homeless. Yes, that's the situation that is going on. And even the people that got support from the government, that is all those, the EBTs, they are not helping. They were cut off. So it means that people that are jobless, they have no food because there are no EBTs that the citizens are being given. So it means that there are no food. There is so much going on, brothers and sisters, and people are coming out and people are trying to talk about this. So brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video and then I'll be back. I'll be giving my thoughts and commentaries in regards to this. And if you're watching me for the first time, you know, I'm your host and presenter Generic Stories. So let's watch the video. I'll be back with my thoughts and commentaries in regards to this.
job market, then you will not understand how actually hard it is to find a decent paying job. Even if you have all the credentials, I have 2 degrees, I have experience, I have a good resume, I have it all, and I'm still not able to find anything. And people ask me, like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your, like, dream career? What's your dream job? And honestly, I don't have one.
Okay, I have to get this off my chest because I am really pissed about it. If you are in the job market currently and looking for work and you are over the age of 40, I think you need to know something about what I believe companies are doing. My husband has been looking for work and he's had plenty of interviews, but 3 of these interviews have stuck out to me, and the reason is because they've gone all the way through like 5th round interviews and 6th round interviews. During these interviews, each company has asked him to solve a hypothetical situation for their company and asked him to present to their C-suite executives how they would solve this, what type of strategy would he use, that type of thing. So he'll, spend a week creating a deck and get into the interview, and the CEO's there and the hiring manager, and then like 10 other people are there, and everybody's really engaged and they ask a ton of questions and things like that. So my husband thinks the interview went really well, and then they'll say, okay, we'll have a decision by the end of the week and we'll let you know either way. And my husband's like, great. And then the end of the week comes, nothing. He's completely ghosted. And he'll follow up with them and say, via email or whatever, because obviously you don't have phone numbers, and they don't respond at all. And this has happened to him 3 different times. So obviously I realize I'm biased, but rather than it just being my husband, I honestly think that these companies are using interviewees to mine for ideas, for strategies, for information, rather than hiring a full-time employee and paying them a salary and benefits. And I think it's absolute bull. And they know that there's nothing that interviewees can do about it, because out here we are desperate for jobs. And, companies don't want to hire right now because the economy sucks. And we're just like, we got to take it up the ass, and it sucks. And I could just be crazy thinking this, but maybe I'm not. Maybe this has been going on for a while, but if anybody else has had this issue, I'd like to know.
This is a rant for all the people that are currently unemployed or have been laid off in the past 2 months, or the people that have been laid off or didn't have a job and they were able to find one. What the are we doing? How are we finding jobs? I've tried to work my connections. I've applied to so many jobs that LinkedIn crashed the fuck out, and it told me I could not apply for any more jobs that day. So I don't know what I need to be doing. I feel like I've taken all the steps I need to. I've talked to recruiters, I've talked to old bosses, all these different people, and I just genuinely don't know what to do. And I'm starting to freak out because one, I obviously need money. I have a home, I have a car, I have a life, but I'm also so almost mentally burnt out that I don't know what else to do. What's going on? What can I do? I'm genuinely asking for help right now. And before anybody gets in my comment section and says go get a serving job, go work at Target, yeah, that's definitely on the list. But I have a health and exercise science degree. My whole background is in sales. I'm capable of more than doing that kind of job. I'm not above it by any means, but with my experience and my education, I should be able to get a good job. And I'm not saying those are not good jobs. I'm just saying with what I have and what I've worked for, I should be able, I am so qualified for these jobs that I'm applying for that I am not even getting responses back. Or just last week, I've had a couple interviews, and I don't get any feedback, nothing when I reach out to them. And one, it's rude. 2, why are you wasting both of our time? You know, like, I don't know. Especially when I talk to somebody and they genuinely seem like interested in me, and then I reach back out and I ask about like salary expectations or like whatever, and then they just ghost me. Excuse me? So this is me coming on here asking people that have found a job or are currently looking for a job, like, what are we doing? I'm genuinely like, I need help.
One thing I wish I'd known is that apparently over the age of 50, you become unemployable. I've been looking for over a year on Indeed and LinkedIn, and I have 30 years experience in corporate and sales and marketing, and nothing. It's just crickets.
I just saw a job position for an assistant director position, and they said that a requirement is that you have a bachelor's degree, and they would prefer that you have a master's degree. And the pay for this position was $50,000. You're telling me I have to have a 4-year college degree and you prefer that I have a master's, and you're only gonna pay $50,000? We are so cooked.
So they're saying it takes 9 to 12 months, maybe even longer, to get a job in this market. And that's, to me, that's one of the most tone-deaf statements that I hear career coaches say, because if you're anything like I was when I got laid off, you don't have 3 months. Look, your bills don't quit just because you get laid off. Your expenses don't quit. Your kids still have to eat. You got to keep the lights on. You got to do all these things. So to sit there and say, just buckle up and get ready, be prepared, be patient, is the most nonsense crap I've ever seen.
I need you to understand one thing. If Amazon can cut 14,000 jobs 62 days before Christmas, what makes you think that your job would not cut you? What makes you think your job is safe? Guys, we are living in times where employers don't give a damn about you being a 3-time employee of the month, a 3-time employee of the year, how much brown nosing you do, how much overtime you work, how much sacrificing you did for the company, neglecting your family. They don't care, guys. These jobs only care about the income that they can make for the company, and they're going to pay you as less as possible, but work to get the most out of you to accomplish that. And if they have to cut you to meet those numbers, those analytics, then guess what? Get ready, because they're going to treat you like trash going out on a Friday. Being somebody who know, because that's what happened to me at my job. But not only that, guys, 84 million people are supposed to lose their jobs in 2025 thanks to layoffs and firings. And this should be a clear sign to you that if the big tech companies can lay off people who are making hundreds and $200 an hour, what do you think they'll do for you making $15 to $20 an hour?
I am literally crashing the out, because I know everyone says finding a job right now is so hard, but I've been trying to find a marketing job for so long now, and it's actually the most difficult thing ever. Like, I didn't expect it to be as hard as people actually said it was, but it is. Like, it's literally a loop of just like hopelessness. Like, it's just over and over and over. Every time you think you're close, you're actually not.
The job market is so bad right now that I'm fully convinced the only way that you're going to make money and be financially stable right now and in a career path that you don't absolutely hate is by starting your own business. And the idea sounds more and more enticing to me every day when I watch these videos of recruiters talk about how they have over 600 applicants for a work from home position.
Let me tell you how bad the job market is right now. I got laid off about 36 days ago. Probably 200 applications in. Out of that, probably 25 rejection letters. Signed up at Walmart for a job. Signed at the local Publix, my grocery store, for a job. No interviews, no contacts. Out of all the applications I put in, I've had 2 interviews. Been ghosted probably 15 times. Then I decided, well, you know what? I'll do DoorDash. Went to do DoorDash. Couldn't get on in the area. Your zone is full. Can't even do DoorDash. That's how bad it is. I've been aged out 36 days. This is the longest I've ever been without a job ever in my life. 23 years in the military, master's degree, bachelor's, tons of experience. Can't find anything.
I'm a recruiter and I work in the life sciences industry. I posted a position yesterday on LinkedIn for a data scientist role. The role's remote. It filters out anyone that doesn't live in the US, has knockout questions for people just to make sure that they meet the qualifications for the role. So active applications, I log in today, over 600. Taking a look through all of the applications, every single person is qualified. I have to go through and reject over 600 people for a job that these people probably well deserve because our market is crashing. I've never seen anything like this in the 11 years that I've been recruiting. The job market is awful right now.
I got a job offer for a place, you know, a tanning salon, a managerial position, right? Required my bachelor's degree. I was like, yeah, of course, this is good. I'll be working with, you know, different environment. I like, you know, makeup, blah, blah, blah. $14 an hour. $14 an hour. What? I wouldn't have been able to fucking eat with $14 an hour. Like, it required my bachelor's degree. I went to the interview. I almost took the job, honestly. But I didn't. I said I would rather be unemployed. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And this is a tanning salon that is very well known. I'm pretty sure it's in every state. It is so baffling that they're paying their people like that. Especially how overpriced their shit is.
So I just came out of the City of Burbank job fair and media expo where there were no jobs available. It was about 2,000 people, including me, holding resumes, and a bunch of tents of people, I guess, promoting their businesses, I guess, and no one was hiring at all, including the company that just laid me off. There were about 100 people in line to talk to them, and then there was just like a lady from there being like, if you're trying to drop off a resume, just go online, it's all online. I talked to a lady from the Burbank Library. She's like, we're here to answer questions about the library. And I was like, okay, are you guys hiring? And she was like, I don't know, go online. Anyway, it was awful and demoralizing. But I did it. I gave it a try. I can say I tried. Do better, City of Burbank. There are a lot of people out there looking for jobs right now, and I think I was not the only one who expected there to be some people hiring at the job fair.
I'm to the point, I miss the days when you had to just go into a physical location, fill out an application, and you had one interview, you sat down, you talked to the freaking owner of the business, and at the end of it, you were offered a job or you were told no. I mean, I miss those days. Why in the flying fuck do we have, why is it the way that it is today? I mean, two interviews and the questions that are asked, my goodness, I have never been asked such stupid ass questions in my entire life. The lady literally asked me, are you kind? What the fuck? How does, like, what the fuck? How does, I don't understand. I'm going crazy. Like, are you guys hiring or not? Just, it's that simple. I'm fed the fuck up. I'm fed the fuck up, and I know I cannot be the only one fed the fuck up with the job market and how things are operating today. It's just,
you guys, the job market is literally insane right now because I have used every single connection I have made since starting my professional career, even like college connections. I have messaged every single person that I can possibly think of. I've emailed recruiters that I've talked to years ago about jobs at like previous companies that I was interviewing for. I've even cold emailed recruiters that I found like on LinkedIn, and I'm like, I don't know what is going on here, but I can't even get like an initial interview and I'll be extremely qualified for the job or even overqualified for the job. And I'm like that desperate. I'm just like, I think people are preying on the fact that we're all that desperate. I don't know what to do. Every time I apply for something, I make sure my resume is fully tailored to that job. I make sure there's keywords in there that match the job description perfectly. And I literally, even I'll have like initial phone calls with people and they'll be like, don't worry, like if we proceed or don't proceed, we'll let you know otherwise. We won't ghost you. They've all ghosted me. I'm like, don't even tell me that. And then another company I was interviewing for, it was like an initial HR interview. She was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to get you in front of the team, yada, yada. And I followed up with her like a week later when she said she would get back to me. And when I emailed her a couple hours later, I got an automated response saying they are moving forward with other candidates that are more like the experience is more closely aligned to what they're looking for. I'm like, what are you looking for then? How are people finding jobs unless they're taking jobs that have crap pay and are just sticking it out and have multiple jobs? I don't know.
I got laid off from my corporate job yesterday. And I think that this is the reality for a lot of Americans right now, and it needs to be shared because America is not doing well right now. We have a 94% prediction rate that the recession is going to come, but yet our frickin' administration hasn't even made the move to actually say that a recession is coming. And let's actually call it what it is, a depression. People can't afford groceries, they can't afford rent, they can't afford buying houses, they can't afford having babies, they can't afford having the kids in general if they already have them. We are not in a good spot, y'all. I know that I'm just a number in a company, but I thought I was okay. You're going to think that you're okay because you've worked there for so long or you have the right experience. Like, you guys, I have an undergraduate in marketing, a master's in business, 6 years of paid social media experience, both on a strategist and manager level. I have done people management for at least 3 years. I'm a senior level in my career. And yet, when I was hired to do a senior level role, I was forced into entry level positions. I was doing entry-level work as a senior-level strategist, all while at the same time being asked to reduce my workload with AI, and our team was having layoffs every 3 months. I should have seen it coming. I really should have. But the thing is that it was not something that I saw coming, because the day before that they laid me off, I was literally talking coverage plans with another employee who was going on leave for months. How am I supposed to sit there and not think that I'm safe in that moment? I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that we live in a world like this where my manager wasn't even the one that fired me, by the way, or laid me off. It was frickin' HR, and they read off a script, but my whole team got laid off. And this is the reality for a lot of Americans right now. My partner is a first responder, so I'm very lucky for the fact that I can be leaning on him for support right now, because luckily his job is secure, thanks to the fact that number one, his job is essential, and number two, he has a union behind him. What I will never understand is why corporate agencies have not unionized. We're not allowed, right? We're not allowed. That's part of it. We'll get fired because at least in this corporate world, they're always going to side on the side of business because that's what's making the government money. This world right now is not supporting people. It is supporting business. You are just a number, unfortunately. So please prepare yourself for shit like this. I wish I would have. I wish I'd been applying to other jobs months ago. I just was so dumb to not realize the signs. I want to talk about it. I think people need to talk about it. I think we need to make this more public. We all saw the jobs report. It was awful. Getting laid off on the day that the jobs report goes out, and it's 22,000 instead of 75,000 new jobs. You know how discouraging that is?
News came out today that there are more unemployed people in America than there are job offerings or job openings. So we are inherently cooked. I know for myself that I've already been applying for jobs, and I've applied for over 1,000 jobs already in the last few months. I've had interviews that have led to nowhere. I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a technical degree, and I still can't get or break into the tech world, which is in shambles right now. But I know that it has to be more than just I'm making a career switch and I'm just I don't have a lot of experience under my belt when it comes to tech, right? It has to be a little bit more than that. And I honestly do believe that something is brewing, something is going to happen quickly. If you have a job, which I do right now, I'm very thankful. Keep your job, stay in your job. You can look for other jobs, but don't ever quit your job because it's awful out here.
I am unemployed and we had some savings. I had some severance to hold us over for a few months, and that is running out. I have been interviewing. I've been applying for jobs. It is literally my part-time job right now to find a job. I've had interviews. I haven't had any offers. Certainly not any offers for remote work. I've had interviews for in-person work, but they pay significantly lower. Like the places where I live, where I have to go to work, they don't pay well. At least they don't pay what remote work will pay. But here's what I am doing. I am opening up my classes on VIP Kid because I used to teach English to kids in China. I'm continuing to apply. I'm continuing to go through with interviews, whether they're in person or they're virtual.
What do you think about the mass extinction event that's happening in the jobs market, mostly because of AI? How is it affecting your life? Well, I can tell you that it's certainly affecting, or it seems to be affecting, everyone's life if you're Gen Z, even millennial, and possibly even Gen X. And our government is not doing anything about it. They're sitting on the sidelines while these billionaires and these giant corporations develop a technology, and there's no thought on how this is going to affect our society. And you might think, why isn't government doing anything about it? Well, it's obvious, right? Its government is completely corrupted by corporations, billionaires, and special interests.
Just got off the phone with an old friend of mine who's way smarter than me. And I don't think anyone realizes where we are in the world right now as a society. We are creating something for the first time in human history that is more intelligent than us. We are creating something that requires more energy than we have. I don't want to sound like a doomsdayer, but my God. I have 2 young children. I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell them. I don't think anyone knows what's coming. It's not gonna be good.
On Tuesday with the hiring manager. Before that, I had an interview with the recruiter, and she told me, we had hundreds of applicants. You were the resume that we saw, and we were like, we absolutely need to talk to her. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. She's like, we were talking about my background and everything. She goes, he is totally gonna wanna talk to you. Whatever, we move on. I talked to the hiring manager. That was on a Friday. I talked to the hiring manager the next week on a Tuesday, which was last Tuesday. I'm talking to him. The interview is going really well. I'm like explaining my background because he is coming from a completely different area in tech. And so he doesn't really understand what I've been doing in AI, but now he's running this AI department. So he's really trying to understand. I'm explaining everything. The interview goes really well. I ask at the end, I'm like, is there anything that you heard me discuss today or from my resume that you think makes me not able to do this job? And he was like, well, the only thing was when I saw your resume, I was worried about your leadership experience because this is a lead position. And he goes, but we have more than covered that. Like, I know you're a senior editor who runs a group of 15. Like, I totally understand your leadership experience. Like, we're all good on that. Like, it works. Okay. And then he also, and it was like, once I saw your resume, like you were the person that I wanted to talk to. I'm like, we need to get her in here, all this stuff, like telling me like how I am perfect for this role. And so then he says, next steps, I really want you to talk to these other people. I want you to see the AI platform so you can understand what you're gonna be working on. Just make sure you're comfortable with it and like you got it. He was asking me about how I would interview other candidates like under me for the role and stuff like that. And then he's like, okay, so you mentioned an edit test for those people. I think maybe I'd want to set up an edit test too for this. I go, oh, awesome. Yeah, like great. Stealing my idea, first of all, second of all, whatever. And so then literally this man is telling me I am the top candidate for this position. We're setting up an interview. That was on Tuesday. I sent him a thank you note on Tuesday. Sent him a thank you note. Talked to the hiring or messaged the hiring or the recruiter. And I was like, hey, like this interview went really well. Let me know what the next steps in the process are when they come up. Basically, that was Tuesday. We don't hear anything on Friday. So on Friday, I'm starting to worry. I'm like, I haven't heard anything all week. I'm kind of like nervous. I'm like gaslighting myself. I'm like, did he actually like say all those things or did I make them up in my head and like black out and like I'm lying to myself because I have OCD. So I was like tweaking a little bit. And I'm like, no, he fucking verbatim said these words to me. Like he wants to set up the next interview, all this stuff. So today I'm taking my dog home from the dog park, get a message. Sunday, 4:14 p.m. Mind you, this man's on Pacific time, I'm on Central. So this is 2:14 p.m. He's obviously catching up on emails. He goes, "Hi, Blake." Let me read it verbatim. This is what it says. "Hi, Blake. Thanks for contacting me and connecting earlier last week. We are progressing our interviews with candidates for the role and we'll be in touch." Okay. You literally told me I was getting a 3rd round interview. So I'm confused what's going on here, because that is very clearly a no. It's also not like the tone he was using with me. So I'm like, I don't really know what happened. I guess I'm just like really confused. Like, how did I go from being your top candidate and getting a 3rd round interview to you're not even in the running anymore? And maybe I'm overanalyzing, but I don't really think I am. I talked to multiple people in my life and they're like, no, that is not a good sign.
So I just got off a Teams call at work. I got a meeting invite this morning called Team Update. There was about 15 people on the call. Our VP just terminated our positions. I'm feeling really upset about it. In tech right now, a lot of layoffs are happening. Who knows, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. I like my job, I enjoyed my job, but I didn't love it as much as I used to. And I know that you're not supposed to always love your job. A job is a job. A job is to make money so that you can provide for your family. And I was very fortunate to have that job and to work with all the people there and learn all the things, level up my abilities. Thursday, I didn't think today was gonna be like this.
We're not even midway through December yet, and I've had at least 4 friends call and tell me that they've lost their jobs. And then I got called for one of my jobs, and they are cutting the rate basically almost in half. One of my friends specifically I know was replaced, her position was replaced by AI. That's not even the worst part. The worst part is healthcare going up and the cost of heating going up. It's set to almost double by January. And the most infuriating is this whole shrinkflation thing. The prices don't always seem to have gone up at the stores. Like, I buy a ton of Christmas candy to give to everyone during the holiday season, and I went to buy what I normally buy, and I got about half for the same price. But I buy the product, the same product, but then I open the bag and it's half of what it used to be. And if they don't do that because they can't do that, then the price goes up. So essentially, almost everything is about twice as expensive, and tons of people are not even working. And people who are maybe making way less. I think there's an idea that if people are too broke to focus on anything other than just trying to survive, maybe they won't push back. And I think anyone who thinks that is gravely mistaken.
So something that I'm realizing people who aren't currently in this job market are not understanding, that I want to spell out very plainly for you. When we say there are no jobs, we're talking about jobs in general. Like, legitimately, any kind of job. There are more job seekers than jobs. And that is not just white collar jobs. That is not just mid-management jobs. That is not just leadership level jobs. Those are jobs. When you hear someone say, I've applied to 500 jobs this year and not heard back from any of them, do you honestly think that's only 500 jobs only in their niche at their level? I've applied to 600 jobs. There is no way in hell that there have been 600 jobs that are like director level or above for employer brand and talent marketing. No, I have been applying all over the place to anything that even remotely aligns with my experience. And not just that, I've been applying to anything. It took me, I had to go back and count. It was like 22 applications to hourly part-time retail job before I got through on anything. When people are saying they're applying to hundreds of jobs, they're talking about jobs in general. And I think this is where a lot of job seeker frustration is coming from, because people who are not in it keep coming at us with like, well, just go apply at a restaurant. We'll just go substitute teach. We'll just go drive Uber Eats. We'll just go get a retail job. We'll just go drive a forklift. We'll just go apply to an Amazon warehouse. Like those jobs, all jobs, all jobs, all jobs, all jobs. There's not a lot of them. And just because you can go to a job board and see a bunch of things listed, those aren't real jobs. Like so much of what is out there online right now is fucking fake. Fake in a number of different ways. I did a whole video about the different types of ghost jobs that exist, but like there are so few real jobs where people are taking applications, interviewing, and then hiring a person to fill that role. And this is where, you know, a lot of us feel like we're being gaslit by the rest of you. And why we say things like, if you're not in it, just stop having an opinion. Because this is not like it used to be. This is so different. And it's so different for a number of reasons. One, yes, we have been in recessions before where there have been more people out of work than there were jobs available. That has happened before. But what hasn't happened necessarily is the proliferation of AI, because part of the reason why AI is such a problem with the job search is screening candidates who come through, and also the fact that your resume gets buried because of the number of AI chatbots that send out fake resumes. That is a big problem on the recruiter side. They get hundreds of applications from fake people that come through AI bots. Okay, so AI is fucking up the market, but like AI is our savior. That's one problem. Another problem is the fact that in the US, our government is refusing to acknowledge what is happening. They are refusing to release numbers, or they are fudging the numbers because they need to look successful. And so there is not the level of urgency and visibility that we used to have in recessions on the job market. And then you also have this thing of like the sheer number of fake jobs. I mean, they have done surveys, they have done studies that like something like over 40% of recruiters have said, yes, I have put out fake jobs before. For a number of reasons. They have a ton of LinkedIn, you know, or Indeed slots that they have to fill, so they just put anything out, or they need to do it to look like the company is in growth, or they're just trying to gather some kind of a talent pool without being transparent about what they're doing. This is why we feel like we're going crazy. This is why we feel like we're being gaslit. And I am just urging those of you that are not in it, stop telling everyone to do all these things that don't work anymore. Go apply to a restaurant job. Well, that restaurant job has 120 applications for that one server job, and 80 of those are people with decades of serving experience. I'm not going to get that job. And I'm not even going to, because this is already like almost 6 minutes long, I'm not going to get into like how to even sustain your life on the wages that exist right now. But again, job seekers, I know you're being gaslit. I know you're frustrated. I know you keep hearing baseless, unhelpful advice. I see you. I'm right there with you. We can't all just drive Uber Eats and become plumbers or nurses or waiters. I got you. We'll get through it.
The job market has lost its mind, because tell me why. This actually makes no sense. This is how it used to be, okay? You walk in to the place where you want to work, okay? If they have like a hiring sign or whatever. You leave your resume there, the manager looks at it, they give you a call back to come in for an interview, they interview you, they get a vibe check, they make sure that everything you're saying is correct, they may call your references, whatever. If they like you, they hire you, right? That's how it used to go. What the hell is wrong? Why now is it like, okay, and everyone, I've heard everyone talk about this. I've heard everybody talk about this. It is, you apply online through like Indeed or like the company's website or whatever. You then wait 2-3 weeks maybe to hear back from the company on whether or not you have been selected to come in for an interview, at which point they will call you. If they've selected you, they will call you, have like, you know, a phone interview, vibe check over the phone. Great, you know. Next, you go in for an interview and, you know, they ask you whatever. So many different places do it differently. Okay, what the hell is up with round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5? What the hell are we doing 5 interviews for? Like, literally, I'm sorry, but like, are managers like not able to get a vibe anymore? Like, I just don't understand. Like, I've been a supervisor before and I have interviewed people. I don't know what is going on that people can't like make a decision. Like, it like is so clear when you're interviewing people whether or not, and I understand there's like there are multiple candidates for one option. Okay, if you interview one candidate after another and they're very close, it's obvious which one it is, because you should be able to get a vibe check on people. Like, are we unable to
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. We are in times where things are tough, and indeed it's really, really tough, and people are going through a difficult time, especially in American history. They sold a lie to people. They sold a lie that when you work hard, everything is going to be okay. When you work hard, you are capable of securing a white-collar job and working in an office and getting employed and living your dream life, getting your house at an early age. But we have seen those clips where parents are saying that they have their 30-year-old kids, they have their 40-year-old kids still under the same roof. But you want to understand why. They cannot chase them away because they understand that that would be a disservice. There are no jobs. And so telling your kid to get out of your house because they are 40 or probably they are getting older and you still having them under the same roof only means that you are neglecting a person that belongs to you. So there's so many things that are going on, and it's really crazy. The working class Americans are the ones who are lifting the heavy weight. Then we have the people that are being lifted, the people that enjoy everything that comes to the United States. Feel me? So the craziness that is going on right now, the craziness that we are observing as people, is making people question majority of the things that are happening in the United States, brothers and sisters. And it's really crazy. It's really crazy. I think that there is something that all these CEO companies, they are using artificial intelligence, they are using automation to do the jobs, and it's getting even much worse for majority of American citizens. People are not getting jobs, people are not getting hired. They're looking for cheaper ways of maximizing their profits. Who is to blame? The system is broken. Now, people came out and shared 1, 2, 3 things in regards to like what is really going on. Somebody is saying that having a degree nowadays means absolutely nothing. And remember when I told you, they lied to you that when you work hard, when you study hard, everything was gonna be the way you wanted, the way you planned. Everything was gonna be how you wanted. But now you understand it's not the same. Things are changing. Life is getting tough and tough and tough. Nothing will change until the people in charge are afraid of the working class. True. The working class have the power to change a lot of things by saying no to consumerism. That's the only power, because they're the same companies that are selling you all these things. There is no HR department anymore. They rely on automated bots to review resumes before hiring a manager gets to see it. It's really crazy. It's really crazy, and I think I've talked about the depression that is really coming. The guy with 23-year experience in military and 2 degrees, I feel for him. That's rough, and there is no excuse that any of us should be struggling to find work. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. We need another tea party. By the way, many of these jobs are shadow jobs. They don't exist. Companies do this to show that they are growing to pump up their stocks and also apply for loans. But in real sense, there ain't no jobs. It's the same in the UK. I was in marketing for 10 years plus for a tech company. Last one made me redundant. I haven't been able to find work. So now I'm working in a pub on a minimum wage. Never ever experienced this before. It's sad. And it's crazy that this is happening right now. One thing lost in all this is people don't realize why the hiring process is so long and redundant. The people doing the actual hiring purpose do this so they can act like they own a job is needed so much. If they easily streamline the process, they aren't needed anymore. Honestly, it's frustrating to see how unaware people can still be. Even now, many haven't started questioning things. Why does it often take hitting a rock bottom before someone begins to see things differently? And why are so many suddenly shocked by the system they once and truly trusted on deeply back in their school days? And honestly, many of these people wouldn't hesitate to become the same blood-sucking corporate managers they criticize if they had the chance to reach these positions. I don't know. Maybe you tell me. Advertising a job opening when there isn't any job is nothing new. I experienced the same thing when I graduated college in 1992. Apps and Xerox did the same thing to me. They even called me in for an interview. At the end, they told me there was no job. They'd put me on a list. Anybody who does this sort of thing should be flagged. It's crazy. Everything that we are saying is happening currently because there is a huge disillusionment that is going on. Me feeling blessed after layoff of 3 months and now back to work from 100% remote for the last 6 years to full on-site. I adjusted quick and I'm very thankful with the best positive attitude ever at work. Plus my job is 15 minutes away with the same pay I had from my last job. I'm truly thankful. It has taken me 3 months to almost recover financially. My car note is still behind and I'm paying that up each week. However, I'm still in my home. Thank God. So, really tell me what's really going on. You're the person who's watching this video. What's your take on what's really happening? How do you experience this? How do you take this? How do you absorb this that is happening right now, right? So please let me know what you'll think about this video. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Ageism Stories. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.